Hi, I'm Karen from Art Party Unlimited, and today we're going to be painting a little oil painting called Spring Lane. I'm going to grab my small round paintbrush and show you how to get started with this painting. And we're going to have like a little cheat. We're going to do a little sketch on here. I'm going to bring a hill over. And I'm sketching this in because this painting has a lot of different elements, and I don't want to get to the end and realize, oh, I did not leave room for that tree, or oh, there's really not any space on that hill for that barn. When you make your cloud, just kind of roll your brush, and it will start to deposit that white paint. So I lay it and just kind of roll it up. I'm going to use those, and then you can spin clockwise or counterclockwise or a combination, whichever is bringing the paint to where you want it. The important thing with the spinning out of the clouds like I'm doing is that you not go over the top line. You want that to stay nice and bright, and we're just fluffing out, spinning out the bottom edge of my clouds. That's giving us the indication, and it should be right on the edge of your remaining sky where the liquid white was. So it's going to gray it down, and it's giving us the indication of a hill. That's a little field way in the back. Then I'm wiping because I want that most of that white off of my brush. A little teeny bit of thinner. This time I want to go into some clean yellow and a little bit of my reddish brown. Let's take that into our green. So that's going to change it up. And it's really messy here. Like, don't worry so much about mixing. Just grab little dabs of what you need. It's just going to change the tone. See that? Look how pretty that is. And it clearly is a hill that's a little bit closer than that other one was. And then I just want to mark, I want the bottom of my tree to come about to here. So I just gave myself a little indication there. And then I'm going to start up at the top. Now, if you lay your filbert brush so that it's sideways, so that just the skinny edge touches your canvas, and start to pull down, see it makes a nice skinny line. And as you come down further, turn your brush so that the line gets thicker. I'm gonna reload. Just kind of fatten up the bottom of my tree trunk a little bit. You really need a lot of paint because we want enough on there that you can just touch your canvas and the canvas will pull off just a little bit. See that? And then they'll start to mix when you go on top of the pinkish ones. Okay, so it's time to put our cabin in. I've already kind of pre-thought where I want it to go based on where I did my little row of grasses, because remember we were putting in a little bit of grass so that we had grass behind our cabin already done. So I'm picking up just a little bit of thinner and some thinned brown and use that really thinned out paint to place my cabin in its spot. Now, a word of warning here. And I keep calling this a cabin. It's actually supposed to be a barn. So a word of warning on your little barn. Don't start out too big because chances are your barn's going to grow while you're working on it. You know, as you get outside the lines, it's going to just become bigger. And you don't want to end up with this like gargantuan giant barn. Just get it sketched in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Okay. I'm finishing up putting on the front using my palette knife of this little barn. I'm making the front the darkest part since it's the part that's turned away from the direction that the light is coming. And just a little word on when you're constructing your little building. Notice there is, I'm going to point with my little paintbrush here. This shape in the front is like a home, I call it a home plate shape. That's the front of your building, but then your roof overhangs that home plate shape a little bit on either side. And that's just one of those little details that it's good to think about. We're back to our filbert brush. And for my fence post, I want it to be really dark. So I'm going to take the rest of this black that I had and grab a nice, really load my brush up so that it's nice and thick on there with this filbert. And then think about, where do I want my fence post? It's going to stop right about there. So, all right, here goes. Push with some pressure and then lift off when you get down to the bottom of where you want it. And that's all there is to it. Reload. And let's get this one in there. And then this guy is going to be a little smaller because it's back further. How do we want him to go? Maybe. There's my 3 little fence posts. We're getting there. It's getting exciting now. We're starting to put in these details. Okay, so now that our fence posts are in, I'd like to highlight them a little bit. So I'm back to my small round brush and need to take some titanium white. I'm going to move it away from the green that's there. You can have a little bit of that purple in it if you want, maybe a teeny bit of yellow, and make it a little golden. If you have any of the red brown left, just make it so it's not bright white, but still pretty close, just an off-white. And this is going to go onto our post. And on the light side, it's going to be really light. This brush is really loaded up. And what you're going to see me do is I'm going to lay it right on the edge and then roll it and keep rolling as I go down the side of my post. And hopefully, if all goes well, that is going to cause the paint to come off on the very edge. So here goes. There you go, clean paint. There we go. We did it. Let's kind of rough up that edge just a little bit. There. And I'm going to actually have to mix a little bit more. I used most of it up. I'm just going to add some white to what I have because it's okay if this next one is a little bit brighter. But same thing. I'm going to hit the top and then turn. That's the next one. And one more. Here we go. Oh, that one's pretty. I feel like I pushed a little harder on my highlight. I like it better. So I'm going to redo this one a little bit. There. Some Sap Green. nice and thin, like we had the brown. And go into my cadmium yellow as well. So I have kind of a spring green there. It's not super, super light. It's kind of a medium. And I'm just going to take that into these lighter areas in between. I did not have enough color on my brush, so that tells me I need more paint in proportion to how much thinner I have. If it's not coming off, just make the adjustments as you go. As you notice it's not working on your canvas, come back to your palette and figure out what's wrong with your paint. Because 9 times out of 10, it's on the palette issue. Now, as I come closer, these bright grasses, they're going to need to go on the back side also. Just a few. You don't need to get too carried away. Remember to go both directions. Circle clockwise, circle counterclockwise. And you're not actually making circles, you're just making the stroke on the one side of the circle. But I think you knew that. All right, I'm going to brighten it up with a little more yellow. And there you go. Our Spring Lane painting is all done, and I hope you had a lot of fun painting with me and Art Party Unlimited today.